Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
I love your sweatshirt. As we said, justice matters. Does it, though?
Yeah, well, it does to us, Steph. It does
That's right.
to us, and we're gonna keep fighting for it, even
That's
if
right.
it's like we're fighting a tsunami of corruption with a teaspoon of justice. We're just gonna keep at it.
Glenn, thank you. We played Sarah Longwell, who, I don't know if you saw that, right to Kevin McCarthy's face, said, what the truth was about J6, and you're the one that resurrected him, and went down to Mar-a-Lago. If ever what Obama used to say, we're the ones we're waiting for, it's now. Yeah. Like, it's us, Glenn, to go make sure that history is not erased in the United States of America.
It's only us. There is no politician. There is no special prosecutor. There is no judge. It is us, and we have to keep fighting for it because the alternative is just slouching toward autocracy, and we can't do that.
And I agree with Douglas. To me, this is more bending the knee, obeying in advance what Chris Wray did. It's more, just normalizing this really abnormal second firing of an FBI director that Trump himself appointed because he's not a big enough sycophant, even though I was no Chris Wray fan,
Yeah, nor was I, and I agree with Douglas Brinkley as well. This was Chris Wray obeying in advance. Let's remember, James Comey violated all kinds of rules and norms when he announced on the eve of a presidential election that nonsense about Hillary Clinton's emails investigation.
Handed the election to Trump, and he wasn't a big enough sycophant or whatever you call it.
And why did he say he did it? Because he wanted to preserve the reputation of the FBI. What did Chris Wray just do? He expressly said, I'm going to quit. I'm going to resign before my 10-year term is up, rather than make Donald Trump wrongfully terminate me. And it would be a wrongful termination because you can only terminate an FBI director for good cause, and there is no good cause. Yeah. He said, I'm going to go ahead and resign. Why? For the good of the Bureau. Well, how about for the good of the American people? How about for the good of American democracy? You stick it out and you make Donald Trump wrongfully terminate you and expose yet additional abuse by Donald Trump. But he decided to obey in advance, and that is a damn shame.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we need democracy warriors like you more than ever. We just played some Adam Kinzinger saying, bring it on. I'm not scared of you. As I keep saying every day here, Glenn, like, courage is contagious, and so is cowardice. And look at these two. We may be witnessing the end of actual truth and facts, but where am I? New report. The Justice Department Inspector General found no evidence the FBI had undercover agents at the Capitol on January 6th. This further undermines debunked right-wing conspiracies about the riot. This one, Phil Bump tweeted, remember the Biden bribe story? The guy who invented it just admitted to making it up. Remember the FBI did the January 6th thing. According to the new IG report, they didn't. I'm sure Fox News will be suitably chastened. They'll just move right on to their next bunch of lies, right? I mean,
yeah, the House Republicans were all about this guy who allegedly came forward with evidence that Joe Biden was involved in some bribe scandal. That guy just pleaded guilty in federal court for lying about Joe Biden. And yet the Republicans were all in with that felonious liar. And this is where we are. But you're right. Courage is also catching. What did you say?
Contagious.
You said it much better than me. Courage is contagious. Now you're a better wordsmith than me.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to keep at it. We're going to keep it. And here's the thing, Steph. I do believe that the imbecility and incompetence of Donald Trump's administration and the Republican Party writ large will be their downfall. They will not accomplish, anything. Just like in the first 2 years of President Trump's term the first time around, he accomplished nothing but tax cuts for the billionaires. Yeah. He'll probably have some more giveaways for his friends, the billionaires. He's not going to accomplish much else, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've never seen this before where at least everything's in the open. Now he's admitting it. It's like, I can't bring grocery prices down. Who said that? I can't end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, he's laughing at his idiot voters to their face. I mean, so anyway, let's talk about, you tweeted, should President Biden pardon the innocent Liz Cheney, Benny Thompson, Jack Smith, and others? I mean, again, I get it, Glenn. In your normal legal world, you don't want to accept a pardon if you're not guilty of anything, because the right wing immediately, even James Comer yesterday is like, whoa, see, Hunter's guilty of everything we said because he took a part. And at this point, how can we worry? What they're going to say something no matter what you do, and by all accounts, he is going to go after the J6 committee. What do you think?
He is, Steph. But pardoning the innocent is a bad idea for every conceivable reason. Why? First of all, the Supreme Court said a pardon carries with it an imputation of guilt, and accepting a pardon is some confession of guilt. The innocent aren't guilty of anything, so they shouldn't be pardoned. Frankly, we've been yelling and screaming all along that the members of Congress, like, Andy Biggs and MTG and Matt Gaetz and Scott Pardon Me Perry, are guilty of J6 crimes, which is why they had to ask for a pardon. If we start pardoning the innocent, that argument will be turned back on us. Here's the other thing. I want a vindictive prosecution. If Kash Patel and Pam Bondi try to bring one, I want it exposed in federal court in the full light of day.
Yeah.
And I want the judges to cram it down the throats of all of the people who tried to vindictively prosecute Donald Trump's perceived enemies. But guess what? You give those folks pardons, it will never be handled in court. It will never be exposed. Instead, Trump will go right to using his military officials and his DOJ officials to detain people without cause and without due process, and then pardon them just like the Supreme Court said he would. I would rather see this attempted retribution run through the federal courts where it will be crammed down Trump's throat.
Yeah. I was texting with our LA sexy liberal best friend, Adam Schiff, and I offered to be his personal Underground Railroad and protect him here. Just because I hope he's right in saying I don't want the pardon. I just, I think I will not be surprised at how many people Trump tries to bankrupt, at the very least. But let's talk about more heroes of democracy. Alvin, you said AG Letitia James and New York DA Alvin Bragg tell Trump they will not dismiss his civil and criminal cases because hashtag
Justice matters.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yes.
Justice matters.
Hey, we don't need that footnote, Chris.
Okay, sorry, Glenn.
But does it? There are no grounds for such relief now prior to the defendant's inauguration because President-elect immunity does not exist, Bragg's office wrote in the filing to Judge Merchan to reject Trump's request. According to Joyce Vance, Bragg made it clear he has no intention of going quietly, no obedience in advance from the office that obtained the only criminal conviction against Trump before his election win, ran out the clock on 3 other criminal cases against him. The district attorney flatly rejected Trump's argument that Supreme Court immunity ruling impacts their case and asked Judge Merchan to proceed to sentencing. Nothing, the DA writes, prevents Trump from being sentenced before the inauguration. And she finishes, Alvin Bragg, who won a hard-fought conviction, boy, I'll say, stood up for it today and stood up for it against Donald Trump. The courage should inspire us. It is a measure of the courage we are all capable of. We do not have to accept Donald Trump and the demise of the rule of law as inevitable. Your legal sister-in-law, Joyce Vance, and that's the kind of courage we're talking about modeling, right?
Yeah, I always agree with Joyce. So here's the thing.
Yeah, I think it's best.
Alvin Bragg. Alvin, listen, if Joyce tells me my middle name is not Lewis, I pull out my driver's license and double check because she's probably right.
That lady will take you to the chicken coop and there's no coming back.
That's right.
That's true.
So here's the thing. Alvin Bragg stood up and did the right thing. He said, listen, there's no such thing as president-elect immunity, and you're still a president-elect, so let's go to sentencing.
Yeah.
Now, that means he's less likely to get a period of incarceration, but maybe he gets a period of probation. But here's the thing. That finalizes and cements for all time Donald Trump's felony convictions. Or the alternative, he said, which I also like, is just suspend the case, right? Put it, just kind of freeze it, put it in hibernation. And then the minute Donald Trump leaves office and his temporary immunity expires because a sitting president can't be prosecuted, then we go to sentencing and then we can adjudge a sentence of incarceration. That either one of those two options, I think, are fine options. Let's see what the courts do.
Oh, hi. I just finished, I'm going to say, an 11 billion mile bike ride. And thank God I happen to have this magic potion with me, ASEA, as seen on the Stephanie Miller Show. It helps my cells communicate better so that I can heal faster from overdoing because I'm lying about my age. I also use it on my face.